Yes, how are we on a Tuesday morning? Hopefully feeling a lot better. I know I'm not. That's why I've got a strong coffee, so hopefully it picks me up. This is a little new segment on the channel, Kop of the Morning. Can have a little coffee, go through a few topics. But before I go into it, I've got someone making a debut. Millie, how are we?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Glad to be here.
Had better times, put it that way. You're the same. And as always, top right corner, Ross, how are we? Looks like he's at the trophy lift. Let's hope it carries on this year.
It's staying behind me until we win it again. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, it's good to be back. I know I've had a few cameos here and there where I've had to drop off, but yeah, it's always good to be back.
Yeah, well, look, if you just joined us, smash the like, subscribe. I can see loads of people joining. No Ricky, no party. It is what it is. He's lazy. So have a word with him, lads.
Get him out. Get him out.
Out. Millie, do you know what? So look, you're making your debut with us today. And we've had a good chat. And I thought today would be a good opportunity because I know a lot of stats are going around. We've talked, and I said to you about certain defeats. But before we go into it, how are you feeling after the other night?
I mean, it was disappointing. Disappointing to say the least. I can't lie. I mean, you wouldn't have thought that was the same starting 11 that played Real Madrid midweek. We were always going to turn up to that game, of course we were. But for it to be absolutely identical and to just look like we weren't playing any part in the game whatsoever, you just feel like you don't recognise them when they play like that, because the first half we were non-existent. And I mean, we can argue that obviously we did have some very poor VAR calls, but it just wasn't good enough. If you take that out of it, we still weren't good enough. We never looked like we were going to score.
It's a strange one, Ross. You didn't do the review show, did you, lads? No, you were busy. Ross, where are your thoughts? As I say, look, we're all match goers, so we know how hard it is going to watch games. And one thing's for sure, Ross, you've got to go and earn the right to win in these games in the Premier League. It's getting tough, lads. The money gets spent. You know, people buy good players. Even the lowest of teams, they still get results against the big teams. Where are you at?
I'm still fairly positive about things in terms of, like, I'm trying to look at it with perspective. So if we take it back to just before the Villa game and we had, you know, defeat after defeat after defeat, you know, if you told me we would have won 2 out of 3 of those games, I probably would have said, yeah, fair enough. You know, we was on a terrible run of form. I think the thing that hurts most about the game on Sunday was we just didn't perform. You know, it's not it wasn't a performance we expect of our team or the club. You know, I thought there was a few decisions that were made. Like, you know, we played basically an identical team for 3 games in a row, bar Wirtz came in for Gakpo for one, I think, wasn't it? So I would have expected maybe 2 or 3 other lads to come in for that City game just to have some fresh legs. Again, I can't really argue with him going for the same team because a lot of people were screaming out for that. But the biggest thing that hurt was just the performance on the pitch. It just wasn't us. It wasn't what we do. And Pep outsmarted Slot. Let's get that right. You know, Pep played a blinder. You know, he overloaded that midfield. I don't think we could cope with it. And then we'll probably chat maybe briefly about the Van Dijk goal, but that was a big factor in the game. But even in then, you know, goals get ruled out all the time. You've got to push on, and it didn't happen. So, yeah, I'm still positive looking at the fixtures coming up, but something has got to click soon.
This is it. Look, Zaid's saying, Millie, you know, players didn't look up for it. That's the biggest thing, isn't it? You know, you've got to be up for Man City away. Come on, do you know what I mean? It's a game changer. If you win City away, the momentum that gives you. You know, we've just talked off here there, the last 3. You know, I'd have took the Man City win over all of them, personally. I think it was the kickstarter to go and propel ourselves in the league. You know, the goal doesn't get given. But I think for sure, in my opinion, I think I didn't see much from Liverpool anyway. Even if they would have scored that, they would have gone on and won.
No, they look non-existent. I mean, the thing is with the Man City game, we won that. We went 21 points and we went second in the league. That is a massive boost given the run of form we've had recently. And it's just the fight that you saw in that Madrid game. It's almost like they just used it all up in that game, and then they had nothing to give when they came to City. And you've got to have something to give when you come to City. I mean, Liverpool and Man City has been one of the best fixtures in the league, arguably, I'd say, for now. It's always good. It's end to end. You know, you've got good football. And we just decided to go down. You know what? We don't fancy it today. I'm knackered. I don't want to do it. And I mean, the substitutions were weird. The VAR decisions were weird. It was just taking all that out. We just didn't want to. We didn't want it. We didn't want it. And you have to hold your hands up. And you can take. It's never nice to lose, but you can take the losses a bit better when you fought for 90 minutes and you go, do you know what? They absolutely played their hearts out, and it wasn't our day. But it wasn't our day before they even blew the whistle because they just didn't want it.
This is what I mean. Well, this is where we're going to go into this show's topic. Look, if you just joined us, smash a like, subscribe. Shout out to everyone in the comments. Callum, Ticho, a few of the lads are in there from the channel. You know, Callum as well, Zaid. Who else is the? I can't even think. I've got my glasses on, so I can't really see. But look, smash a like, people. I want to go into then at the players playing for Slot, because I do think this is a massive concern at the minute. I've done some digging on the results. I know people are saying 17 defeats this year. I don't know where the 17th one is, or I'm just thick. But look, I'm going to go through some of them for you. And this is not including the pre-season friendlies, all right? Spurs away. I was there for this game. It was in the Carabao Cup, the first leg at their ground. We got beat 1-0. Yeah, we got beat 1-0. Then it was PSV away, Champions League. We got beat 3-2. Plymouth away in the FA Cup. We got beat 1-0. The home game against PSG, this went to penalties. Obviously, they won. But obviously, we were defeated and knocked out the Champions League. Then the final, Newcastle at Wembley, Carabao Cup, we got beat 2-1. Premier League, Fulham away, we got beat 3-2. Chelsea away in the Premier League, we got beat 3-1. Brighton away in the Premier League, we got beat 3-2. Then this is where the new season kicks in. We got beat by Crystal Palace in the Community Shield on penalties. Then we played them in the Premier League away, we got beat 2-1. Galatasaray away in the Champions League, got beat 1-0. Chelsea away again in the Premier League, got beat 2-1. Then Man United the other week at Anfield got beat 2-1. I think you were both there. Of course you were. I think you done the AGT's fan cam, I think, Millie, and Ross was there. Then we had Brentford away, 3-2 in the league, got beat. Chelsea, 3-0, we got beat. Sorry, have I gone through the Palace? Yeah, Palace in the Carabao Cup got beat at Anfield 3-0, and then on the other night, Man City away 3-0 in the Premier League. I'd be very concerned if I was Arne Slot after that, because I think there's a lot of teams there Liverpool should be walking all over. And let's face it, that's 16 defeats from me counting there. 3 of them are at home, 13 of them are away. So Millie, in my opinion, the manager's got a problem getting these players up for big games, because let's face it, I haven't seen Liverpool lose that many games in the calendar year for a long, long time.
No, and it's not only the fact that we're losing that many, we're also conceding way too many goals.
Did you see the pattern of like 3 goals constantly keep popping up?
It's way too many. I mean, if there's a couple of 1-0s, now you'd be like, all right, sometimes these things just happen. But there is way too many goals going in. And it just, we can't always rely on the Anfield atmosphere to push the players through. They need to be able to go and play away. And the manager needs to be telling them, yes, you're not at home. Yes, there's only a small section of away fans, but you're playing for the fans that come to that ground week in, week out, spend their money, traveling around the world, watching you guys play. And I just don't feel like he's just got no fight. I feel like he's such a passive man that it's almost I feel like they're coming out from a loss and he's going, oh, it's all right, we'll try again next time. I don't want that. I want you to scream in their face and tell them to play for the badge, because that's what they need to do. And once you lose that, well, the players are just going to go, oh, okay, all right. They got no. It's like there's no. Not they don't respect him, but they just don't want to show up. And the away form is just worrying. Really, really worrying.
It is, Ross. Look, I've just counted there. 7 of the 16 games, Ross, we've been beaten, obviously, but 7 of the games we've conceded 3 goals or more. Now that's out of fucking 16 games, Ross. No Liverpool side is going to win any trophies if they fucking play like that. And do you know what? I really like Slot. I really, really like Slot, and I want him to turn it round. But this is not like form. This is a pattern, and shout out to Mo, Scouse Mo. I'd give him the stats of the day on his show, and I'm going to say it again. One of the lads on his panel said, this is not form, it's a pattern growing. Liverpool can't keep winning one game and getting defeat, Ross. So it's a problem, and the manager needs to be taking time in this international break to fucking work out what's going on. Because let's face it, Ross, that's fucking not good enough for Liverpool, regardless of who's in the job or not.
No, I agree. And, any great football team, that has gone through the years, the Peps, the Sir Alex Fergusons, it all starts with being solid at the back. Being able to shore up the defense and make sure you're not conceding goals. And we spoke off air about it, didn't we? And not getting like Mark Gay in the summer, I think is catastrophic. We couldn't have predicted what was going to happen with Leone, but pull Leone aside, we should have got him in over the line. We played with fire on the final transfer day, and it didn't go our way. But ultimately, I think we'll look back on that moment at the end of this season as being a pivotal moment as why maybe we haven't performed as we have in the league. So something needs a change. It does. Like as I said, I'm probably one of the most positive in the group that we got. I know a lot of the other lads are feeling it. I'm feeling it as well. I think I've witnessed more defeats this season and maybe a couple last season than I have in the previous Klopp years. Do you know what I mean? I think I witnessed one loss in about 3 years with Klopp, 4 years, whatever it was. So yeah, we just need to just go back to basics and just make sure we're playing well. That's the first thing. When those lads are stepping out on the pitch, just give it your all, and whether the manager's telling them to do something or whatever it is, we know as Liverpool fans, whether you're inside Anfield, if you work your socks off, the fans will appreciate it.
We thrive off it, you know what I mean?
We do.
I feel like this season, Ross, we've lost a bit of players that get you off your seat a bit.
Yeah. The atmosphere in Anfield I don't think it's been the same since COVID, honestly. I remember after COVID coming back and I was thinking, something's not right here. I thought it'd be bouncing, but I said it on a couple of podcasts ago. There's a relationship between the players and the fans. The players get the fans up, the fans get the players up, but you need those critical moments in games to spur each other on. And at the minute, we're not seeing anything on the pitch to spur us on. But yeah, it's a difficult moment. And I think the worst part of this is losing before international break, because now we've just got 2 weeks of hearing about how bad we are. Yeah, it's awful because we know fully well as Liverpool fans, everyone loves to speak about Liverpool. We're the biggest club in England, so we're under the limelight constantly. So 2 weeks of just hearing how bad we are is just miserable.
Do you know what? So just in case anyone's joined us, smash a like and subscribe. If you want to become a member, do so. And this is not a show just to slag off the manager, of course not. We want to work out what the issue is here. And I thought this is 2 match goers with myself who, see it firsthand. You do get a different view when you go to match at times. I do believe you see certain shapes, whether you're behind the goal or not. But one thing's for sure is I feel like the manager, Millie, he's struggling to get a tune out of them. And I feel like the players are probably feeling the same exact way. You can't, as a Liverpool, as the club in general, not just the manager or the players, you can't, for instance, go into games and not put tackles in. I watched that City game, and I'm sure you did as well.
Yeah.
Remember the first half up by Salah in the corner? They fucking nearly olayed Liverpool off the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
They're not putting a foot in. It's like there's a lack of motivation to do certain things. I think the stats probably shown that Liverpool were hardly winning any of the duels. Now, of course, that's not on the manager, but I mean, fucking surely he's got to be screaming at these players. What the fuck? You're playing for Liverpool? Because that game for me, I don't care what anyone says. I think if Liverpool win that game, they'll probably charge on and try and catch Arsenal down. Now, what do we do?
I don't know. I mean, I found it very interesting to hear that Slot had said that he'd watched 250 City games in the lead up to the game and somehow managed to set the players up to favour City. The setup that he used and whatever tactics he put on there, it absolutely played into their hands. I mean, they knew that Konate on the ball is absolutely shocking. And so what did they do? They man mark everyone else at the back so that we have no other option than to pass for him. And that was smart. And Pep is a smart manager. I mean, he's one of the best managers of all time. Of course he is. But we played right into their hands and we showed no fight. No one won anything. And we just went, do you know what? We're just going to sit back here and enjoy the 90 minutes whilst we get absolutely battered. And we did get battered. And I mean, you can argue that potentially maybe they had in the back of their mind, we've got unfavourable refs this game. Maybe we don't go in for every tackle because of the history that we have, especially with Chris Kavanagh and Michael Oliver on VAR. we have a history of decisions not going our way. So did they have that in the back of their mind? And they thought, if we go in here too hard, one of us is getting sent off, we're getting a red card here. Or, you know, and that needs to be looked at away from the game, because we can't blame the performance on that entirely. But I wonder whether psychologically that was in the back of their heads, because it just, there's no explanation for it. They look like a different team. In Madrid, Conor Bradley against Madrid, that's probably, I mean, he was great against Madrid last season, but that's one of his best performances I've ever seen.
I think that was his best Liverpool performance the other night against Madrid.
Unbelievable. And I was obviously at the match, and even watching him in real time, he was just everywhere, and he went in for every tackle. And then you come into a City game, which you think, come on, bring that again. Like, that's what we needed. We had that fire in our belly, and it just has extinguished. There was nothing there.
It's worrying, Ross, isn't it? If you can't, that Madrid game, look, of course, Liverpool were always going to get up to a shout out to Matt in the comments. Everyone, smash a like and subscribe, please. Ross, you know, I understand people are getting defensive with regards to the tactics the manager did. I thought Liverpool was sitting in a bit, Ross. I feel like the manager's tactics were to try and go late in the game and probably utilise the Isak sub. You know, if you're struggling as a manager, you've got to make sure that the subs are right so that the players keep buying into it. I definitely think there's a few players that are questioning some of these subs going. Because, for instance, if you're playing footy, Ross, you know, even as a kid, if you saw the manager on the side taking some of your mates off who you knew were top players for a player that shouldn't be right, you'd be going, what the fuck's going on here? Do you know what I mean? And I do think that they are going to be like that, Ross. You know, that's twice now. I think you mentioned it to me. Well, you know, because I fucking lose my memory all the fucking time. But I mean, the manager's brought fucking Gomez on for Wirtz twice now. And I can't watch that. I really can't watch that. That's a player that, you know, is a player that can dictate the game. You know, for instance, Chelsea, he brought Isak off, lad. Why? Yeah, against Man City, he brought Ekitike off, we had no forward. Why? Like, these don't help the cause, do they? And this is what I've been saying. No. This is not just to people who are just slot in or slot out. The question is like, we need to see some fucking evidence that it's going to start turning around. You're the manager of Liverpool, 6 million fucking quid a year. Lad, we need to see these fucking tactics that are going to make a difference, Ross. And where are they?
Well, this is where it is. I think all of us are finding it hard to kind of grasp what's happened, because something that we praised the manager for last year has kind of disappeared this year. You know, some of the substitutions he made last year, we were praising, shoring up the game, bringing on Endo, as someone said. Yeah, you know, stuff like that. But
it makes no sense, Ross.
No, it doesn't. So we're chasing games now, and it's almost like we're bringing on subs to secure a lead when we haven't got the lead. You know, it's kind of hard to explain. So, as you said, bringing off Isak and bringing off Wirtz, you know, I know Wirtz is getting a lot of flack at the minute, and you know, I've said in the group chat, I'm not judging any player until this team is firing. I don't think it's fair, because you know, we've seen over the last couple of weeks that a lot of the team isn't performing, and you know, I hope now after this international break, there's going to feel like an eternity. We got Forest at home. You know, someone said in the chat just a second ago about our next 8 games, we'll probably get like 14 points. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. The Christmas period in the Premier League is ridiculous. Let's be honest. So we need every one of those players to dig their heels in and get done, and you know, just do the business. You know, I love Van Dijk, you know, but some of the posts, I think he made a post after the City game, didn't he? Saying about
stop this shit, Ross.
This will pass too. Like, I get it. You know, Van Dijk loves the club. You can tell that he does. He's the club through and through, and I love the man. He's amazing. But we just need to just get our heads down, crack on, and see where we go. Really, that's all we can do as fans. You know, I'll be there for the Forest game on the 22nd. And be supporting the lads, but it's difficult when we have these moments and we have like weeks to stew on it. As you said, this is the second international break now, isn't it? So we have weeks to sit here and analyze and pick apart and understand what's gone wrong, and then we go back at it then on the 22nd, and we'll see what happens. But we've just got to start getting things right, and that goes from like the players starting on the pitch to the players coming on later on in the game, making the right decisions. There's a lot to get right, and at the minute we're not getting a lot right at all.
Well, I was just looking off screen.
You know about the Van Dijk stuff? I love Van Dijk, like we all do, but it almost feels like it's like toxic positivity after every loss at the moment. I want him to come on his stories and post and say that was not good enough.
Rile the crowd up to get behind them even more.
Call a spade a spade. We know our performance wasn't good enough. And yeah, it might pass, but I don't need to read that right now because I'm fuming at you. And I want you to be able to say to me, I know that wasn't good enough, guys. And that's what you need.
Quotes like fucking Gandalf and all that shit, you know, that we shall not fucking pass or whatever the fuck it said. Just got no interest in shit like that. It's like, at the end of the day, it should be, this isn't good enough. We will turn this fucking ship around. And that's all I want to hear. Mo Salah hasn't piped up. Has he forgot his fucking password? Do you know what I mean? Where's his post? You know what I mean? But I've just been, while you were talking, Ross, I was just writing the fixtures down. So, Millie, for instance, how many games do you want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 games. The next 8 games. This is all up to December. So we've got Forest in the Premier League at Anfield. Then we've got PSV away in the Champions League. We've then got West Ham away in the Premier League. Sunderland at home. Then we go to Leeds away in the Premier League. Then, this is quite tough, this. After Leeds away, we've got Inter Milan away in the Champions League. Then we're back home. We've got Brighton at home. And then we're away at Tottenham. So for me, I think we should be winning 90% of them games. But on the back of our form, certainly the away form, these are tricky ties. And I personally think, if I was the manager, I would be a bit like, right now we've got to really fucking knuckle down here. Because the scrutiny is humongous at Liverpool anyway. Never mind the defeats that we've just gone through. For me, I'm not judging them so much on the home game against Forest, but I'll be looking at that West Ham game going, you have to go there and win. Because I think any more of these fuck-ups, I think the players will start turning. I think the fans are already divided. We're having an open chat here. But let's be honest, I'm looking at them ties. And I know, I always say I'll be positive. Fucking go there and have them all, do you know what I mean? But I'm not stupid to think that I'm looking at them now. I'm sure you're the same, and I'm thinking, I can see a defeat or two there.
Yeah, that's the problem. Especially with our away form, if maybe we're going to the Forest game, and we absolutely batter them, and we go into the West Ham game and we absolutely batter them. But it feels like we've had these, like in this last week, we had Villa and we dominated the game. We had Madrid, we dominated the game. And you thought, do you know what? We're actually not, something's building here, but it feels like it's 3 steps forward and then we just go 2 back and we're like, it's hard because you want to sit here and say, yeah, of course we're going to win them all. Like I've got faith. Blah, blah.
We want easy shows, don't we? Go the roses and everywhere. There's fucking flowers. You know what I mean? It's pissing down and it's dark clouds.
At the moment, you're just like, I can't keep digging this positivity out of nothing, because at the moment it just feels like I've taken all these punches and then I've got up and I'm like, oh, they've stopped, and then they're like, nah, do you know what? Have a fucking.
We'll just hit you on the head with the bottle.
Have 3 more. It's just, it's so disheartening because I'm always positive about Liverpool. I'm always like, I won't even count us out the title race at the moment. I'm like, no, do you know what? There's still time. But it's so mentally draining when you keep saying, no, we're going to come back. We're going to be fine. And then we're not. And then you have to deal with the onslaught from everyone else. And everyone has an opinion on every player. And we don't help ourselves because we signed big players in the summer. We did. And that hasn't helped us either, because that's piled on even more criticism because we've got all these star players and we're doing nothing with them.
It's like at the minute, obviously all of us go to the game, but I don't know how you felt this season. Like when Klopp was here, you turn up at Anfield and we was gonna get the job done. But it's like we turn up at Anfield at the minute and we're not sure what Liverpool team we're gonna see. And that, I don't know if you guys sense it, but that's felt within the crowd, especially that Man United game. The amount of groans you heard around the ground, people shouting, and I haven't experienced that for a long time. And you can tell within the fan base.
A little bit, Ross. It spreads like a cancer. Do you know, when I look at this team now, I know these 2 shirts here, this fucker does me head in, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? But the team now look like they're crying out for one of them. Do you know what I mean? And I mean that. Like I look at like Curtis. I think Curtis Jones going forward has to be in this side, Ross. Personally, he cares so much. I see him screaming at Van Dijk, and I thought, I like that, because fuck me, we haven't been good enough at times, lads. It's the truth. And like, this is the thing, Ross. Emmy, shout out to the comments. I'm going through them all, by the way, people. So get through comments in or questions, whatever. But Ross, what happens if we lose or draw against Forest, lads?
We all come back on the pod.
And moans and groans you said, lad, are going to be 3 times more.
Yeah. So I don't think the club will do anything like manager decision until the end of the season. I don't think they will. I don't think it's how we operate. And I agree with that because I'm looking at it as if Slot's going to go, and I don't think he will personally, that's my honest opinion. If Slot's going to go, we have to get that next manager appointment right. Because if you don't get the second one right, you're then slipping even further behind.
You're in that like fucking mouse wheel of shit, aren't you?
You're in where Man United have been for years, 7, 8 years, coming up 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
Big players on big wages, Ross. That's what they've had
Exactly.
this year. Oh no, theirs are all shit anyway. So we'll just we'll throw that one out there. But you know what I mean.
And remember, right? Man United have been able to buy players and continue their investment because they're a commercial powerhouse. Liverpool, let's be honest, we were on our way to being a massive commercial powerhouse. And we've brought in tremendous revenue. But if you start slipping down the league table, you start finishing outside of the top 4, and this revenue doesn't come in, big problems happen outside of the pitch. So this is why I'm not fully Slot out, because I look at United and think I don't want to go to that. I don't want to see my team. When I grew up watching us, and we didn't win nothing. Let's be honest. I started supporting Liverpool 2002, 2003. I seen us win the Champions League, but even the teams we had then, like, let's be honest, they weren't great. So I don't want to see us go back to that. So that's why I'm fully not Slot out at the minute. And I think if we're not going to go for the league and the league's done by Christmas, the Champions League format is a lot more forgiving than it has in previous years. We've seen that firsthand when PSG finished, like 8th, was it? And we finished first in the group stages.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying we'll win the Champions League. I can't see us winning anything at the minute, but I just don't want to say Slot out just yet, because if we get the next
time, really, and I understand the frustration, Ross. I really do. But look, I just want to say, shout out to Doug for becoming a member. Make sure you go and check his channel out as well. Top lad. I've seen Doug a few times. He saw me outside of Anfield. He was going, Ben. I was like, who the fuck's that? And it was Doug. I was like, who the fuck's that? The Pistons down rain. Had the Zud up. But look, we appreciate the comments. You know, Millie, I think one thing's for sure is, right, if we reset it to now, going forward, we want them to turn it round. Of course we do. Of course we do. Now is a difficult time for the club because they're probably like, fuck, do you know what I mean? I can't even believe we're having this conversation. We spoke privately about it, and my head is fucking fried, to be honest. But I think now, let's be serious about it, right? This is the first time we've seen FSG spend big. Let's be honest. 450 million. They exceeded my expectation.
Yeah.
So automatically, as a fan, regardless if you go to match or not, as a Liverpool fan, the expectation on Slot goes up. Let's be honest about it. And I think automatically you shave time off your timeline as a manager when you spend that money, because people go, they're going to win the league, they're going to win this, they're going to do that, blah, blah, blah. I think the owners, we spoke about off here, you've got Nagelsmann kicking off a bit about the handling of weights and the constant shit that he keeps getting. As a football club, they're probably going, now we look at the matter. Let's see how we get on now. Because let's face it, with regards to PSG, we also spoke about it, all of us. The PSG game gets mentioned a lot. The managers mention them a lot. It's like he's trying to build PSG 2.0 off the back of how they play footy. So he says, we look total opposite. But I mean, the facts are that they came into the Champions League last year. Well, they started performing big in the second half of the season. So he's got to start getting fucking wins on the board now, hasn't he?
I mean, there's nothing else for it. We need wins. I mean, going back to that PSG game when we went out last season, since then we've lost 40% of our games. And that's just a stat. You never think you'll see a stat like that for Liverpool, ever. Oh. I mean, going back to what we were saying about when we had Klopp, you were excited to go to the match. And it feels like now everyone's got derby belly week in, week out. Everyone's nervous. It's just like there's this tension in the air. And if we don't start winning games, that's going to get worse and worse and worse. And the Germany manager, obviously talking about Florian Wirtz, I think Florian Wirtz has been wrongfully criticised by a lot of people, because I think he's been one of our greatest players. I think he's not in the sense of like he's not got an assist, he's not scored, yeah, sure, but he makes the most chances. It's not his fault if there's no one there to take them.
The underlying stats are there, aren't they, Millie, for Wirtz? Everything is there.
Yeah. Apart from the assist numbers, that's the only thing. hindering his performances, because let's face it, he should be on double figures assists.
Absolutely. It's not his fault that he gives the service and the service isn't taken. He can't help that. Like I say, taking the striker off in the 56th minute of that game against City and not replacing him when we had Isak sitting on the bench, who we were all crying out for during the transfer window.
Do you remember that after the Arsenal game and that news came
Oh
out?
my!
Fucking running around, he's sliding in the house.
If you could bottle that feeling and sell it, you'd make millions. That 48 hours was unbelievable for this football club. And it just feels like that was the high. And then ever since then, it's just gone and crashed and burned. And then we had a little bit, and we were like, oh, and then we crashed and burned. And it's just, we need to get wins on the board, because otherwise, I don't know where we finish. Like at the moment, if we carry on like we are now, we're looking bottom half of the table.
That can't happen, Millie. That cannot happen.
I can't see, and I see them staying with us at the end of the season. But if we go into the new year and we're still in the position we are around the 8, 9, 10 position, I can't sit here and openly say to you that I'll still be saying, yeah, do you know what? We got to give them a chance. We got to give them a chance, because once you get to January, February, you're there's not as much movement in the table. People are staying kind of where they are, give or take a few places, and we can't be 8th. We're 8th now, and I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Like, something needs to be done. It's such a complex situation, but please just pull your finger out, maybe, guys. I don't know.
Do you know what? I am really fucking concerned. Sorry, I've just sent Marty the quick link. 1 second, bear with me, people, because he's just going to come on and have a little say with us. If my phone decides to fucking work. But I think one thing's for sure, right? I think, Ross, as a Liverpool manager, you're judged on the difficult times, I think. I think that's the best of what Klopp did. When we went through some difficult times, he'd take it on the chin and say, it's my fault. And I think that's why Liverpool fans, right, bought into it so much. Because when he signed for Liverpool, Ross, I'm just using him as an example, because we're in the position now where we need the manager to do the same thing. But when Klopp signed up to do the Liverpool job, for me, he took on 2 jobs. One, it was to conquer the city of Liverpool, buy into the people's way. Because, we're like a fucking little army. You come up, both of you, for instance, I'm from Liverpool, so you know what it means. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if we had a wall up, we'd put a wall up. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like with Klopp, he was like the leader of the fucking army, mate. We'd go to war for him. That's why we're all fucked. I'm getting grey little marks on my beard and shit. That's fucking Jürgen, that. And he spent all my dough, so we went everywhere with him. I think the manager really needs to galvanise the fan base and the players, and we've got to go toe-to-toe with everyone now. Because I can't watch Liverpool cower away in a Man City game, Moss.
No. And the thing is now, all that kind of time that Slot had bought by winning the league last year, that's gone now. The day after that trophy lift, it's in the past. It's done. So we need
you got to look forward.
Yeah, exactly. Like he did a good job last season. Let's not take that away from him, right? And people are probably going to get pissed off with how positive I sound. Like, I feel exactly the same as many others in the chat. I'm pissed off with it. It won't stop me supporting the club. Absolutely not. But now, like, all the good time he bought is gone. Now is what
he's got to be immaculate now, Ross.
Yeah, this is it. Because Klopp, we know fully well, had that relationship with the fans, and that buys you a bit of time. Let's be honest, right? Klopp was the one who came out and said he was leaving. I think as a fan base, we probably would have had him around for another 2, 3, 4 years. Let's be honest, we would have. So I just popped him up, seen him smiling then.
There's this fucker. He's like, that's a call like the fucking police to see where he's been missing.
I was going to say, yeah, we had like missing posters up the lot, man. So.
At least you care.
I don't, mate, if I'm honest.
It is mutual.
Yeah. But no, I think Slot now, all the good time has gone. So now it's just all about business. Getting the W's on the board, climbing up that table. As Millie said, I haven't quite given up on the league yet, because I know how difficult it is, and Arsenal will drop points. But also, I don't think City are out of the league either. I think with Haaland
built himself right up the arses of Arsenal.
Well, they have. You have a look now. Like, Haaland is a freak of nature. He's scored stupid amount of goals, and if he continues, Haaland can carry them through the season. So, yeah, I think we just got to get our heads down, just get it going.
you know what, Marta? You've just been watching the show, and I think Millie and Ross speak very, very well. They're not fully slot out. I think for me, I'm not slot in, I'm not slot out. I'm like, we need to sort this shit out. Do you know what I mean? So, like for Jason saying slot out, Marta, I know we've spoke privately as we always do, and I'm going to go through some of the comments in a minute, but these defeats have to stop, lad. It can't go on. It just can't carry on. Liverpool aren't a team that get beat all the time, lad, and we've discussed it. Is there a potential lack of motivation from the manager down to the players? Because let's face it, one thing for sure, certain big profile managers, which we've spoke about, Matt, as in, let's say for instance, if Slot was to leave, for me, Luis Enrique would be top of the fucking charts. I spoke to Millie about it, I spoke to Ross about it. You've got to earn respect. Now's the time where Slot's got to earn respect. Like, otherwise, the time is ticking, isn't it?
Yeah. I said to you, the feats aren't great, obviously, but for me, it's the performances. I rewatched painfully the City game yesterday. Just walking about,
you cannot fucking walk about, lads, can you?
Can't, no, not in any game, especially not City away. Especially considering Arsenal dropped points the day before. That's what worries me. Is like the bare minimum is effort. That's the bare minimum. At Liverpool is that you run around and you give effort. The fact that they're walking about, they're just not winning. Like the tackle numbers were terrible as well. Like the midfield and the centre backs didn't win a single tackle. The stats that are coming out are not good. But I'm like you. I think the big question mark is if you were to sack Slot today, who do you bring in? And I think that's what it ultimately goes down to.
That's the drawback, Martin, isn't it? That's where probably people aren't going saying, get rid.
No, exactly that. And listen, I know we get emotional, but obviously you're going to have to give him time. He's won a Premier League, and whether people like it or not, it does put credit in the bank. But, the numbers are just so bad. They're bottom half of the table, like relegation numbers, like losing 4 consecutive aways on the bounce in the Premier League, losing 7 of the last 10. And then you look at in-game stats, it's just not. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And the thing is, when we had, people always go back to the Klopp era, and they're like, Klopp had that period in COVID, or we lost games under that, or But the thing is, there was always a reason. You could always go and pinpoint a reason why it was. During COVID, we had, we were playing centre mids at centre back.
So we had an excuse, Klopp.
Yeah, no fans in the stadium. We know we feed off of that. Half the time with Klopp, because of the way we played, we had half a squad. Most of them were on the injury tables. So there was always kind of a reason.
That comes down to fucking running through brick walls for them.
Well, yeah, exactly. The reason they don't get injured is they don't fucking run. And that for me is the worry, because if you can't get them up motivated and running for City away, then you're bang in trouble.
Can I just add something about that City game though?
No.
No, fair enough. I'll be quiet. No, I genuinely think Pep outsmarted Slot tenfold that game. I just think they neutralized every threat. And Millie, you pointed it out about our building up from the back. We know that Van Dijk at the back is our progressor on that back line. And Haaland was on him all game.
Yep.
So
that's quality of manager though, Ross.
But this is where I think I'm not getting too run away with the City defeat. Yes, it was a shit performance. Yes, we should have added more to it. But I think Pep just had Slot's pants down that game. I genuinely do. He set his team up so well, and it doesn't excuse some of the stuff we've seen. I appreciate that. And on top of that, Millie, you mentioned something about the goal being ruled out. Liverpool of old, if that goal got ruled out, that would have fired us up. That would have given us something to go and push on.
We went the opposite, Ross.
We went the opposite way. And this is something the manager's got to deal with. This is the problem at the minute. I think we're so deflated as soon as we concede a goal. It's just like, oh, not again. Where Klopp days, we conceded a goal. We was like, nah, we're having these. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that all comes down to the back room. What they're doing day in, day out, training, the message is being sent to them. Let's be real. Those players know that they're performing bad. Those players know they are not in the position they should be. Let's not get under any illusions.
They're Liverpool, the new lads, Ross, to win the title in Champions League.
This is it. This is why I'm trying not to, because we take it back 3 days before the City game in Real Madrid. All of us are on an immense high. All of us are feeling the club and everything. Yes, we've had a really shit result, but I genuinely think that come December now, if we can get it right, we push on and we just get top 4, regroup, push on in the Champions League and go from there.
Do you know what, Millie? Like the lads speak well, and you know you've spoke very well yourself here today. Look, before we go into it, but people smash a like, subscribe, also follow everyone on Twitter. Millie, I think one thing's for sure is when I look at Slot, you know, there's certain things you have to feel a bit sorry for him. I think they probably give him too much too soon in the summer. I understand why. You know, he's starting to look for me a little bit like the job title says, the coach. You know, they've put a lot on the plate for him. I'll be honest, I'll hold my hands up. I said go with the new players from the beginning of the season, and it's proved that it hasn't worked. And that's why I'm fucking doing a podcast with you. I'm not on the sideline at Liverpool as much as I'd like to be. I'm nowhere near as good, of course. But the facts are that probably to suit suit Slot more this season, maybe 2, maybe max 3 signings would have been a benefit for him. Easier to manage, you know, little tinkering still. I've never seen Liverpool do so many changes in a season so early on in all my fucking life. And it's showing. We're getting beat. And we're up, down. It's like that. It's just not Liverpool like, is it?
No, I said this, I was on TalkSport yesterday, and I said it almost feels like they've done some mad FIFA run, bought all these players, but not looked at what the chemistry. There's no chemistry between anyone, and we can't find a way to play them all together at the moment. And I mean, it doesn't help outside of what's going on with the team. It doesn't help that when we do lose, Slot comes out and it's always, oh, they know how to play against us. There's always an excuse. Whereas when you throw it back to when we had Klopp, he would stand there and he'd go, no, it's not good enough, and he would take that blame. But at the moment, it's
he'd take it on his chin.
Yeah, he would always say, no, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. And at the moment, it's like, oh, but the long balls, oh, this, that, and we don't know how to play against this. They know how to play against us, and we can't figure it out. But that's your job. Figure it out. You can't come on and go, I just don't know what to do, guys. Because I don't know what to do. And that's why, like you say, we're not in the job. You're meant to know what to do here. And I think, you know, it's like a kid in a candy store. He's got all this candy. He's eaten it all. And now he feels sick. And he's like, oh, shit. He's
on holiday all the time, relaxing.
He's like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because there's just, it's all too much too soon, I think, like you say. And how do you work that out? But then you're on £6 million a year. It's your job to work it out. And not go on holiday. Please.
Certainly at Liverpool, there's no hiding away from any spotlight, and that's probably why you know, Jürgen was fucking absolutely knackered after the job. And you know, I don't think Liverpool would go down the route of interim managers. That's not Liverpool. Like they've done that years ago. Do you know what I mean? Now it's just not. It's not going to cut the mustard for them. And this is Ross. This is where it's. You know, you are right. You can't just jump at a quick move, get him out, blah blah blah. It's not about that. Mart, you know. I spoke to you today again about it. For me, if the manager was to potentially lose his job, not that I think it happens now, if it carries on losing, they've got no fucking choice but to do something about it. But one thing's for sure is it would have to be a profile who's bigger than all the players, in my opinion. It's got to be someone who demands that respect, you know. But I want him to turn it round, Matt. But we need to start seeing shit now. Liverpool can't be fucking losing 16 league games in a calendar year. We're not even at the end of the year yet. And we've got big away ties coming up.
No. The problem is it goes back. We talk about that. We had a chat. I don't know if we already talked about it, but obviously Zidane. And problem is, I think he's obviously won what, 2 or 3 Champions League, Zidane. But if I remember rightly, his last season he was found out quite badly in the Liga. He didn't perform very well in the Spanish league at all. And I'd be a bit concerned with managers like that a lot of it is relying on their playing reputation as opposed to their managerial one. Because I mean, the team he had, not to talk down his achievements, but I mean, he had literally the prime Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale, Modric, Kroos, Ramos, like that team. He'd win everything. So, you know. Can he come in? Has he got that? You know, because you're going to be coming into a team that's going to be low on confidence. Regardless of the size of the names in the dressing room, this team is going to be on its arse if he gets sacked. You know, if he's gone, it means it's gone really badly. So, for me, we've spoken about Luis Enrique. He's the one, but
he's the main one for me if the manager was to lose his job.
Yeah, he's mine. But are you going to get him out of PSG? I don't know. So then you're looking around and you're looking at people like. Inzaghi, Xavi, Zidane, then you've got the ones like Areola, Plasma, and you're like, is that enough of an upgrade to pull the trigger on sacking Slot? Like that's just what it always comes down to for me. But the problem is, if he keeps losing games, you can't not address it, because it can't be any worse than if you go on a losing spell again of 5 games in a row. So this is why I don't think it's as simple as in or out. I think there's too many moving parts around it at the moment for it to be as simple as, yeah, he's got to go, or no, he's got to stay. Bottom line is, he's got to get this team playing. He's got to figure out how to get the big money boys playing well, what their positions are, and how he fits in his system.
Not just about scraping wins, Matt. They've got to start looking fucking like a team with identity.
It's gone beyond that now. He's put himself in a corner where every game has to be a good performance and a win. That's what you get when you manage Liverpool and you go on this kind of run. You back yourself into a corner where you have to perform in every game to a high standard, and you have to win well. And that's the position he's in at the moment. And the City game, if we were on a 4-game winning streak going into that, and that happens, you'd go, not great, very pissed off, but it happens. The fact he's gone in off the back of that's now 7 in 10 losses, and he's done that in that manner, ain't gonna wash.
No, it's not. Ross Jammer's comment here. Look, if you just drew us, smash it, like and subscribe. But he said we talk about one season wonder players, Ross, but could we talk about one season wonder manager? And I hope that doesn't come through. That I hope we don't go out on a whimper. And I certainly don't hope that happens for Slot, because I really like Slot. I have question marks over him. I'll be honest, I have question marks whether he turns it around. No one can really prove the evidence yet how it fucking how it does turn around, because the facts of the figures are there. Liverpool are 8th. They're 8 points behind the leaders. They've got big away games coming up. Even some of the away games are lesser sides, but they're becoming big sides now for us. Every game is a monster game. Liverpool in these, let's be honest, Ross, in the defeats this season, a lot of them are away from home. We've been fucking atrocious, Ross. Liverpool have to look good as well, mate. We've got superstar players. We can't just be fucking winning late in games. I know me and Millie were talking about it earlier on, the early games in the season. There's some games there, Ross, we fucking look like we should have probably lost.
No, and this is where I know you mentioned you're not too concerned about the home games, but I see the home games as an opportunity, as a foundation to build off.
I am concerned, Ross, but I'm saying, like, where we're having issues is the away games. We've got some turnaround there.
Oh, absolutely. We know fully well the top teams in the league need to go away to the most toughest stadiums. And you said it spot on earlier, Ben. Like, you have a look, even the lower teams in the league now, they're getting so strong. The amount of money they're spending and throwing at their teams.
Spending 200 odd fucking million.
But this is it. Do you know what I mean? Like the gap between, we have a look at the big 6 as such. That big 6 is going to grow in terms of a big 8. And soon we're not going to even be speaking about a big 8 because everyone is invested. And we spoke about this when there's the City owners come in. In modern day football, you have to invest. You have to perform well to keep going up the chain. And it's really difficult to do at the minute. So, like, for me now, going after this international break, we need to go get a win against Forest, and not just a win, like a fully performance-based win that we've dominated. Because I don't know who was at the Villa game, but I thought Villa, we dominated that game. We looked really, really well. And credit to Villa for trying to play. We need another performance like that going into Forest. And then whoever comes after it, it needs to be replicated. Because I agree with you all. It's not been good enough. We have lost so many games, and all of us are frustrated because it's stop, start, and we don't know which team is going to turn up. We don't know what result we're going to get when we're used to just getting win all the time. So, yeah, it's really difficult.
Millie had said to, obviously the lads, the last few weeks, I felt like the way Liverpool were going, they were looking like they were going to get hiding off someone, and they got it on the, against Man City. I think this international break's come at a good time, certainly for the manager and the players, for us as well. We need a reset, but I think like this is where now Millie's got to earn the fucking thing to be staying in the job. We need to see the identity. We've got to start looking like the Liverpool team. Thank God we've got our own game to come back to. We need the crowd up. Forest be fucking horrible then. Do you know what I mean? I was arguing the other day with the fella with the fucking earring in. Do you know what I mean? With a big fucking t-shirt off on his fucking picture. The big Forest badge. So they ate us, we ate them. But it's going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult. They've got now the tails up a little bit. New manager and whatnot. But Liverpool have to go out there and fucking batter them as a football team. We need to see something. We can't be having just whimpering in games. If the manager wants to be in the job, he's got to start performing as well as the players.
I mean, you can argue that maybe we'd become a bit spoiled over a period of time to expect that we win. And obviously losses do come in football, but not in the way that we're experiencing them at the moment, because it's evident to see that there is an issue in a lot of areas. It's not just one particular player where you can go, do you know what, if we take him off and we put him on, it'd be fine. It's everywhere. It's almost spread throughout the whole team, and you just don't know what to do. Coming back from the international break, I mean, we've all complained about how many there are at the start of the season, but it feels like every time now we've gone into it and we're like, you know what, I actually don't mind having 2 weeks off because this has been a lot. Coming back from that, dependent on injuries, of course, because that's the big worrying thing is obviously our players love to go on international break and put world-class individual performances in. And that's what worries me is they do that. A couple get injured, what do we do? Because he doesn't know what to do with the starting 11 that he picks at the moment, let alone if those players are no longer available. So it's like, if we don't come in and have a really convincing win that is an end-to-end game where we perform well, I love a last-minute winner. Of course we did. At the start of the season, we were like, oh, these are great. I don't want that. I don't want to be waiting until the 80th.
Not every week.
No, I don't want it every week, and certainly not in the run of form that we're in. I want us to come on the pitch from the minute the whistle goes, like we did against Villa, like we did against Madrid, and be like, no, we're up for this, and we're winning this, and we're taking those 3 points, because that's what we do, because we're Liverpool Football Club, rather than this like half-assed thing that's going on at the moment. It doesn't feel like you're watching the football club that you know and love. We look completely different, absolutely worlds apart from what we thought we would be coming out of the transfer window.
I do think this has been a cracking chat, by the way. This has been really good. Before we start wrapping it up, I want to pose a question to you. So obviously, I've just gone through it here. The next 8 games, Matt. I don't know if you caught it, but Liverpool have got Forest at home, PSV at home, West Ham away in the league, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, Inter Milan away, Brighton at home, Tottenham away. So in then 8 games, Matt, how many wins do we need out of them? Let's be honest, we don't say fucking 8. I'm greedy, but I mean, I'm not stupid. You don't just have form fucking turn like that. You've got to earn the form.
He's got to win all the Premier League games.
Has to win all the Premier League
Champions
games.
League, maybe, yeah. Well, it was Inter away.
Two of them are Champions League, Matt.
Yeah, Inter away will be tough for anyone, whatever form you're in. They're a great team, well coached, hard team to beat. But he's got to win all the. I'm sorry, but you have, and this is the position that you get in when you lose the games that you've lost.
It's got to be immaculate, Matt.
Yeah, he has to be, and it has to be good. But the problem he's got now is the 2 teams there. You've got West Ham and Forest, both horrific form at the beginning of the season, have now got new managers in. So, you know, you've got 2 teams there. It's like going to a relegation side at the end of the season. They all of a sudden find form and become really hard to beat. You know, so no game is easy. So he's got to, for me, he's got to win all the Premier League games. We're 8th. You know, we're not 3 points off Arsenal at the top. We're 8th. You know, he's got to bounce back in a big way. And regardless of what we say on the podcast, in the group chats about whether we win the league or not, I would be absolutely horrified if that manager and those players had given up on the league already. I would be absolutely gutted.
That'd be fucking major because we give up on a cup already, Matt.
Exactly. You know, and that was what we said. If you're going to throw the cup, then you need to go and perform after that. They won 1 Premier League game. You know, Real Madrid was a phenomenal performance. It was Liverpool's best performance in a long, long time. But there was an anomaly in it, and it was the Trent situation. Anfield was so highly charged that night that there was no way that team couldn't put in a performance. Villa was a good performance, but I think Villa played into our hands. So
you were wide open like a little Bonnie Blue one. Yeah,
and then you've got Emi Martinez forgot that he didn't have a brain and just passed it to Salah. So we got a little bit of fortune there as well. Obviously,
idiot him, lads, isn't he?
Wow, yeah. Rogers hit the post as well, didn't he? Like 5 minutes before. So like we Yeah, so we rode on like a little bit in that one as well, but we got through it. But that worries me more. The fact that we had that turning point and then that City performance comes, that worries me, because if we had been on a horrible run, it would just be like the confidence is getting lower and lower and lower and lower. The fact we went and had that City result off the back of that Real Madrid game confuses me, concerns me way more than if we went into it on a losing streak.
There's Ross's dog being a little bastard in the back.
That's not my dog, mate. Don't blame my dog.
No, it's this fucking Marty Sakura.
Mine.
How
Mine.
dare you? Don't bring my dog's name into it, mate.
Fucking hell, they always have to have a say. Mine was fucking around before.
He's just nearly put himself through the door. Bearing in mind, he's on the side of the house behind the closed door. Listen to him.
Little bastard. He's fucking defo sloth out fella him.
Yeah.
Raging.
Yeah. Mart, does he turn it around, the manager? This is the question for all of you. I know the
No.
dog's saying no.
No, I'm joking. I don't know. I don't know. For me, it all comes down to whether these performances from the players are genuine, just they're lethargic. And I don't know why they would be in November, but I don't know, man. If these performances carry on, it's just going to get worse. But I'm going to be optimistic and say I hope he does.
Yeah. Ross, do you agree with this? And do you think he turns it round? And I think you'll agree with Marty, we've got to win all the home games, Ross.
So I'll add to Ricky's thing. No, I don't think he's lost the dressing room. Honestly,
He will if he carries on, but I don't think he has yet.
Yeah, I don't think he has. You can still see the togetherness. I forgot who said it in the group chat yesterday about the social media posts. Those lads know fully well they're together.
You're on about the worst one, aren't you?
I don't know if it was either Van Dijk's or someone else, but I think that shows the togetherness. All of them are in the same train of thought, and I think like if they've or the manager's lost the players, sorry, that would show with like negativity across social media because these players always post. So no, I don't think he's lost the dressing room just yet. Do I think he'll turn it around? So the next 8 games, you mentioned it to Mart. I'm gonna go big. I think we win 6 out of those 8.
Yeah,
that's good.
I genuinely, I think after the witnessing the Villa and Madrid game, if I put City aside, and as I said, if you offered us 2 wins out of the 3 before those games, I would have taken it. I think we'll go on a little run. And I may be sitting here in a month's time with egg on my face. And if I am, I am. But I'm being confident about it. What can we do as fans but get behind them? So I'm going to go with 6 out of the 8. I think you'll turn it around. And I think maybe after Christmas, we'll be back looking as if we're playing well again.
Millie, it's difficult, but I think now is the time where he will be judged from the club. Because when you spend that money, if you look like you're not going to get top 4, the finances the following year are going to drop, and they won't want that. After building all the goodness up, the player wages are right. They've got targets in mind. So you've got the sponsorships as well. So there's a lot of pressure on the club. That pressure on the club then goes from the club to the manager and obviously the players as well. One thing I will say is, and I think it's the perfect game for Liverpool to come back to, Forest. They're going to make it difficult for Liverpool. So he's got to break them down. They're not going to be coming thinking the fucking Guardiola doing step overs, fucking trying to take our players on and, go hit us fucking for 6, fucking high up the pitch. They're going to be sat in. And they know, let's be honest, I think we can all agree, to get Liverpool frustrated at Anfield, keep it 0-0 going into the second half. And I just think from minute 1, he's got to come out swinging. The manager and then fucking players have. They play for Liverpool at the end of the day. I'm at the point now, it doesn't fucking matter who they are. You don't perform now, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, I said it to you earlier on. We need to start picking a starting 11 based on performances rather than people's names. That's the issue. Is a lot of the people. I'm not saying that these are bad players. Of course, I'm not. They all deserve their spot in the team. But
top draw talent.
The handling of Chiesa and things like that are negative on this team and this manager specifically. He needs
scrutiny based on these little things, doesn't it?
This is judgment time now for him. I think this lead up from now right through until the end of the year is when we need to be looking at him. And another issue that we have is we've played so predictably. In every loss, you can see where we've lost the game and why we've lost the game.
Easy.
So what teams need to do is watch that back and go, yeah, this is what we'll do against them, because he doesn't seem to change anything to counteract the losses that we've had. It's just baffling. It's so baffling.
It is. And just to back that up, I think like the one thing which I worry about is we've had defeats with the predictability of the Gakpo situation, the inverted fullback. We've changed it round. We've gone with Robbo And now Wirtz on left wing, and now we've had another big defeat, and that's where he's probably like scratching his head, going, "Fuck." You run out of. We've tried a lot of things and it's not worked. I think there's signs where you could see maybe we get out of the shit. But this is where you earn your money, and I think we'll wrap it up here. Arnie, if you're watching, lad, don't come to Dubai with me, lads. Stay where you are. I'll be coming home soon, lads. So stay where you are. I'll come and see you. One thing's for sure is we've got to get behind them. Millie, you said it before about where are we going to finish. I think Liverpool right now need to just concentrate on just getting wins on the board, and we'll deal with it later. If we get ourselves into a position whereby Arsenal and City drop points, I think we can all agree. I don't think Arsenal drop many. I don't think they get beat many times because they like to defend, and they defend very well. Let's make no mistake about it. City, City are going to go on the front foot. The way they would win the league is by going and winning games. And Liverpool now need to just go. If we concede, it is what it is, but we've got to make sure we start putting teams to bed and scoring goals. I think we look a bit frail in front of goal, and it's strange. We're not putting the ball in the back of the net enough for me. And I think if you're going to go and sit in at City, for me, you're asking for trouble. But look, she made the debut today, and I thought she's done really well. We've seen a few people bigging you up, Millie, so they'll want to see you back on here. So hopefully you do, and tell them where they can find you, because I know you want to push your social media. I'm
at It's Millie Jones on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.
That's it. So look, boys, Mart, good to see you again. I know you're on the mission list. Try not fucking stay away too long, lads. And tell your dog to stop shouting.
No, he's part of it. That's my annual performance now. I got a little break, and I was like, do you know what? I'll jump on.
Fucking hell. Well, look, as always, Mar, we hope you're back with us this week again. Ross, as always, lads, make sure that fucking picture is one from next year as well. We want the trophy again.
Yeah, we'll have something up there. Hopefully the Champions League, but as Mark said, I may be deluded and need help, so we'll see what happens.
We're not deluded, lads. We're winners. We want to win, and these players want to win. That's why they've come to Liverpool, the most successful club in England. Let's carry it on, because one thing's for sure is, I think I can answer this for all Liverpool fans: we can't win a league title and then just piss the next one up the fucking wall. So go time, Arnie. We want to see Arnie going to war. So look, we'll be back tomorrow. Up the Reds, and let's hope we start winning. See you soon.